Tensions boiled over on live TV as Rand Paul faced off against The View's panel. Whoopi Goldberg couldn't hold her composure, snapping mid-debate and calling for a break as the crowd went wild. But what set her off? Was it Paul's fiery critique of socialism, his take on Syria, or the bold challenge he threw at Whoopi herself? Stick around to witness the heated exchange that left the panel rattled and the internet ablaze. The atmosphere on The View grew increasingly intense as tensions escalated, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats. Whoopi Goldberg, known for her commanding presence, reached her limit during a heated live exchange with Senator Rand Paul. The Kentucky senator didn't hold back, confronting every argument the hosts hurled at him with a calm but firm resolve, dismantling their points one by one in real time. What followed was nothing less than shocking.
In 24 hours, somebody wakes up and says, "Oh, we're out."
Right.
Is that the right way to do this?
I think the way we look at war is we don't look at
No. Is that the right way to do it? But we're in there.
For so many years, the left agreed with me.
I am neither left nor right. I'm just American. I want to know, should we be taking, should we be walking out on
But here's the thing is, left and right have agreed in the past that regime change doesn't work. When we got rid of Hussein, we got chaos and more terrorism. When we got rid of Gaddafi, chaos and more terrorism.
But Senator, we're here now, though. But we're here.
Yeah. We're not really here. We got 50 people. We're not
here.
doing anything.
Yeah, but frankly,
50 people is very symbolic, and that is why it kept Turkey from invading.
You tell their parents
Isn't that true?
You tell the parents of those 50 kids how great the symbolism was when a suicide bomber blows up all 50 kids.
But didn't it keep Turkey from invading?
No, I'm not.
Gave
you tell
Turkey
their parents.
The green light.
You tell their parents why they're there.
But isn't that true?
You tell their parents why they're there.
Isn't it true that Turkey did not invade?
How
do you feel about the video that we're seeing of the Kurds getting slaughtered?
I find the position of pulling out of these wars, that's a popular one, and I am there. There's a difference in having a strategy and leaving the Kurds there to die, which is where they are now. They are left there to die, and that is now, here's what I'd argue, now it's the GOP's problem.
That's simply wrong.
ISIS fighters, as being reported, thousands are going to escape from these prisons because the Kurds can't protect
themselves.
Up to 70,000, according to a NATO official.
What's the people who don't like the policy?
Is that a safer world with ISIS running around?
That's the people who want to stay forever. These are the same people.
I don't want to stay forever, but
let me finish answering the question, okay? I let you talk, you let me talk. These are the same people. These are the same people that would still have us in Vietnam. These are the same people who always say, stay at war, stay at war, stay at war. It has not helped us. We've been in Afghanistan for 19 years. The same people complaining about this. The Cheneys, Lindsey Graham, you know what they say about Afghanistan? It would be precipitous to leave. We've been there 19 years. There's no mission, and I'm not sending one more kid.
But there's more questions.
Of breaking our word as Americans, of breaking our words to our allies, of having people who've risked their lives, who've been there for years. And what message does that send internationally to other allies if we abandon them?
I think the only duty we owe and the only oath I take is to the Constitution. I didn't promise to take the country to war. I promised not to take the country to war. So did President Trump, by the way.
But the Constitution says protecting you from enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
And there's many of us who feel that this puts us in greater danger because of what it means vis-a-vis ISIS. I mean, we don't live, we're not alone on this planet.
And anybody who tries to make the argument that someone in Syria is a danger to our country is really not paying attention.
Oh, I think Assad is in Syria and is a hell of a danger to our country and our world.
Well, actually, if you look at the war is very complicated. So you had Assad on one side. On the other side, you had Sunni extremists, Al-Qaeda and al-Nusra. These are the people that have been allied with the Saudi version of Islam that has been promoting Islamism and Islamist strategy around the world and jihadism. That was the side of the war we were fighting. So if that side of the war actually won, I think we actually might be in more danger. I don't like Assad, but the other people on the other side are Sunni extremists that I don't like either.
How close is too close for Iran to be near Israel? Because this now creates a huge vacuum where Iran wants to take over Damascus, which is what they're now going to be capable of doing, and they're going to be that much closer to Israel, which is in fact one of our closest allies. Does that concern you at all?
I think the whole situation is so confusing that none of us are really getting this right. Actually, Turkey doesn't want Iran to take over everything. Israel doesn't want Iran to take over everything. And in fact, Israel actually stands up for themselves all the time.
They may end up being in a bigger war.
Let me finish. Don't interrupt. So Iran gets up against the border.
I'm sorry, Senator. I am interrupting because
comes up
you're going to stick
and Israel.
We'll be right back.
The drama unfolded when Rand Paul appeared to promote his latest book, The Case Against Socialism, but things quickly spiraled off track, leading to an intense debate. From the start, the conversation was charged, with Whoopi and her co-host practically setting the stage for a showdown instead of an open discussion. Leading the charge was Sunny Hostin, who wasted no time diving into controversial territory. She brought up the political and economic crisis in Venezuela, attempting to argue that its collapse had no connection to socialism, but Rand Paul was unshaken. With measured confidence, he countered Sunny's claim, highlighting that Venezuela's downfall was rooted in the failure of socialist policies. Then came the moment that sent shockwaves through the room. With unwavering certainty, Paul delivered a line that hit like a thunderclap. If you vote for socialism, you'll get socialism. The audience, clearly stunned by the raw simplicity of his statement, erupted into applause. This unexpected reaction rattled Whoopi, and she couldn't mask her disapproval. A sharp side eye toward the clapping crowd spoke volumes, exposing her frustration in an instant. Rand Paul wasn't finished making his case, and the tension on The View continued to escalate. The discussion took a dramatic turn when the topic shifted to U.S. troop withdrawals from Syria, a subject as divisive as it is complex. With composure, Paul began outlining the reasoning behind his position, emphasizing the challenges and nuances of the situation. He argued that pulling troops out wasn't just a policy decision, but a necessary step to avoid entangling America in endless wars. Whoopi Goldberg, however, wasn't buying it. Cutting him off mid-thought, she posed a pointed question, but is that the right way to do it? Her tone carried skepticism, challenging Paul to defend his stance under fire. Unshaken, Paul countered with a direct response: should we stay in wars forever? Should we keep sending American kids into harm's way without a clear mission? He dismissed the idea as reckless leadership, drawing a stark contrast between his approach and the status quo. But Whoopi wasn't going to let him have the last word. Cutting him off once again, she snapped, "You're just running away." What about our allies? Her rebuttal dripped with frustration, questioning the fallout of abandoning U.S. commitments abroad. Paul, maintaining his calm demeanor, delivered another measured response. He pointed out that even some of America's so-called allies like Turkey were contributing to the chaos in the region. His message was clear: the situation wasn't as black and white as it was often portrayed. The heated back and forth between the two reached a boiling point, with Whoopi visibly losing patience. Her frustration spilled over as she abruptly cut off the discussion, shouting, "Let's go to break." The audience, sensing the palpable tension, fell silent, creating an uncomfortable pause that lingered as the show transitioned into a commercial. The clash didn't stop there. When the show resumed and Sunny Hostin took her turn to challenge Rand Paul, pivoting the conversation to domestic policy, she accused the senator of endorsing tax cuts that disproportionately benefited the wealthy. But Paul came armed with facts. Calmly, he explained that the top 1% of earners in America pay 40% of the country's income taxes, while the bottom 50% pay virtually nothing. His statement wasn't just a defense, it was a reframing of the narrative, designed to shift the conversation from accusations of inequality to a discussion about fairness. Rand Paul didn't back down from dismantling every argument thrown his way, and when the conversation shifted to free healthcare and education, the sparks kept flying. Sunny Hostin, trying to corner the senator, brought up these polarizing policies, but Paul was quick to fire back with a sharp response: free? Nothing is free? He went on to explain how countries like Denmark, which often serve as models for these ideas, impose staggering taxes on their citizens. The working class there pays 25% in sales tax and 60% in income tax. If that's your idea of free, I'd hate to see what expensive looks like. He quipped, earning gasps and nods from parts of the audience. Then came the exchange that set social media ablaze. In a last-ditch effort to assert her neutrality, Whoopi Goldberg declared, "I'm not left or right, I'm just American," but Rand Paul wasn't letting that pass. With a calm yet pointed tone, he delivered what many saw as the line of the day: "Well, Whoopi, if you're just American, maybe you should listen to ideas that don't align with your narrative." That's what true Americans do. The reaction in the studio was electric. The audience erupted in applause, breaking the tension in the air. As for Whoopi, her stunned silence spoke volumes. As the segment wrapped up, the camera panned to a visibly shaken panel of hosts. But Rand Paul, maintaining his composure, walked off the set unshaken, having delivered his message with confidence and clarity. This was more than just a heated debate, it was a moment that underscored the power of staying cool under fire and standing firm on your beliefs. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Did Rand Paul cross the line, or was he simply telling the truth? Was his approach too direct, or was it exactly what the conversation needed? And for those who watched the exchange, what did you think of Whoopi and the host's reactions? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This debate isn't over yet, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all the latest stories like this one.